Good day, my name is Martin Schiffner. I am a PhD student at the Chair of Medical Engineering of Ruhr University Bochum. In this poster, I would like to introduce rhombic grids that reduce the number of voxels and thus the computational costs and the memory consumption in fast pulse echo ultrasound imaging. Image formation algorithms, such as delay and sum, discretize the object to be imaged using point scatterers on an orthogonal grid. Each point scatterer represents a volume element of the object. The grid of point scatterers accurately represents the entire object if the grid spacings are sufficiently small. The algorithms, however, must compute the strengths of all point scatterers. The number of point scatterers, or equivalently the number of voxels, thus determines the computational costs and the memory consumption. The objective is to find grid vectors R1 and R2 that not only enable an accurate object representation, but also reduce the number of voxels in coherent plane wave compounding. To achieve this objective, the spectral properties of ultrasound images are relevant. Ultrasound images are bandpass filtered versions of the acoustic object function. The delay and sum algorithm in coherent plane wave compounding recovers specific passbands that depend on the bandwidth, the steering angle of the incident plane wave, and the f-number. The bandpass character of the ultrasound images enables their representation by samples, or point scatterers. The bivariate sampling theorem shows that the sampling superimposes copies of the bandpass filtered object spectrum in the spatial Fourier domain. The ultrasound image can be recovered from the superposition if the grid vectors U1 and U2 prevent the copies from overlapping. Two grids aside from the usual orthogonal grid, which oversamples the image, prevent overlaps and will be investigated: the optimal orthogonal grid and the proposed 120-degree rhombic grid. All image spectra strongly resembled the theoretical predictions. The spectrum of the oversampled image in A showed the recoverable passband. The image spectra in C and E showed the periodic superpositions that were predicted by the bivariate sampling theorem. The absence of overlaps in these spectra enabled the recovery of the spectrum in A and thus the corresponding image in B. The proposed rhombic grid maintained the image quality and reduced the number of image voxels by up to 81.4%. The proposed rhombic grid, moreover, reduced the computational costs and the memory consumption. The costs of the additional interpolation to the usual orthogonal grid become irrelevant if the number of steering angles per compound image is sufficiently large. Thank you very much for your interest.